Hello, and welcome to our lesson on environmental and ethical issues in SCM. This segment will cover developing a policy on environmental soundness. It is very harsh to say that pollution indicates some business inefficiency, representing that resources have been used ineffectively and inefficiently. It also requires additional costs, such as dealing with dangerous and toxic materials, double handling recycled goods, and conducting disposal activities, which add huge extra costs but little value. Like defects, pollution usually reveals flaws in manufacturing processes and the design of products. Traditional costing systems often overlook external costs, which were deemed irrelevant to company activities and thus not factored into product expenses. However, with regulatory shifts, such as consumer rights regarding packaging returns and landfill taxes, these external costs become significant. Consequently, they must be integrated into direct product costs, necessitating effective management of supply chain implications at the primary costing stage. Kahn and Dong, 2017, argue that instead of solely focusing on sustainable technologies' high costs and limited financial returns, companies should aim to internalize external environmental costs imposed by regulations. They propose a strategic shift towards value-based decision-making in supply chain management, balancing the costs of environmental responsiveness with its benefits. In a subsequent study, Kahn et al., 2018, empirically demonstrated the advantages of green practices in logistics operations. Their findings revealed that embracing green practices not only stimulates economic growth indicators such as GDP per capita and manufacturing value added, but also opened up lucrative export opportunities in environmentally conscious markets. Moreover, they highlight the economic viability of renewable energy sources like biofuels over fossil fuels, crucial for curbing air and water pollution within global supply chains. Taking a view of the process and considering the supply network, it may be argued that a firm uses inputs from its suppliers to manufacture goods for its customers. It pollutes the air, land, and water. The management system must address every aspect of these phases by translating customers' requirements towards suppliers and consolidating the many functions with other partners within the extended company, that is, customers and vendors, where suitable, to manage and control the inputs and outcomes skillfully. An environmental strategy of purchasing and supply might begin with putting information about the firm's situation onto such a map. This environmental management concept aligns seamlessly with the lean approach, ideal for companies aiming to streamline production by minimizing inputs, space, materials, time, and labor, and eliminating wasteful practices. By swiftly integrating environmentally sustainable principles into their supply chain, companies can trim unnecessary costs that don't add value, enhancing competitiveness. Warhurst, 1994, outlines secondary principles including space utilization, waste minimization, quality control integration, and inventory reduction. Similarly, Lamming, 1993, extends these principles to supply networks and relationships in lean supply. Effective environmental management becomes crucial when maximizing value from limited resources, making resource conservation a primary focus of environmental strategies. Instead of focusing on pollution control, purchasing and supply managers could encourage their suppliers to scrutinize the possibility of pollution avoidance, which is eventually related to enhanced productivity of resources and an understanding of the opportunity costs of pollution. Recycling, in this situation, although commonly understood as a sustainable green activity, deals with waste and pollution only after it has been manufactured. As one believes that all waste was once bought into the firm as an asset, or a portion of one, it becomes advisable to try reducing the amount of manufactured waste. Undeniably, it is very beneficial to deliberate a hierarchy of waste, each of which gives opportunities to enhance product value and process efficiency. Increasing the life of that item, minimizing the total amount of resources used in the manufacturing, minimizing unwanted side effects of the item throughout its life, including waste and pollution. Recycling, incineration with energy recovery at the end of a goods life cycle, instead of disposal to landfill. On this point, it is very useful to distinguish between open-loop and closed-loop SCs. The ideal closed-loop SC would be one in which all components and materials were recycled or remanufactured without adding any new parts, components, and materials. Even though whole closed loops are hard to accomplish in practice, several firms use reverse logistics to recover end-of-life goods, saving both the environment and costs. Maintaining market focus is vital for effective environmental management. Traditionally, eco-friendly products have been marketed based on what they lack rather than what they offer, often resulting in reduced functionality, less from less approach. To truly achieve more from less, environmentally improved products must successfully replace their less eco-friendly counterparts in the market. Otherwise, the enhancements are ineffective. The main objective of supply chain management, SCM, is to minimize costs while maximizing value for customers. This involves eliminating non-value-adding activities across the supply chain tiers and focusing on satisfying consumer needs. Additionally, there's a crucial link between product stewardship and SCM, highlighting the environmental responsibilities of firms beyond their traditional boundaries. Firms must consider the entire lifecycle impacts of their products, from extraction to disposal, by evaluating not only their own processes, but also those of their suppliers and distributors. To significantly enhance environmental performance, companies must involve suppliers in the improvement process. Suppliers' sourcing activities and decisions shape inputs into systems and are vital for the company's competitive survival in the market. The polluter's pay principle, a cornerstone of environmental legislation, can be misleading. When polluters go undetected, society bears the external costs, as noted by Burt and Loss, 1995. Moreover, if a polluter, such as a contractor or vendor, is fined, these costs may ultimately trickle down to consumers who end up paying for poor environmental practices through higher prices that account for waste and production expenses. According to Burt and Loss, 1995, the significant challenge is to urge suppliers to enhance their environmental performance at each tier of the SC by executing the suitable features of the waste hierarchy at each tier. Some of the main areas to address in this process cover quality requirements, customer specification, interface waste due to long lead time, post-consumption waste not consumed by the consumer, progression to the next processing or production company in the value chain. The focus should be on fostering continuous improvement without merely shifting specific environmental concerns back to the previous supply chain tiers, thus prioritizing overall environmental performance enhancement over just avoiding financial penalties. Environmental issues present significant risks for supply managers, making it imperative for them to navigate these challenges effectively. Key risks include liability, ensuring purchased goods don't contribute to pollution during use, aligning with the duty of care principle, which states that any firm that manufactures goods concerned with controlled waste, industrial or commercial, is responsible for its safe passage downstream through the SC. Compliance. Non-compliance with regulations can result in severe financial penalties, potential legal consequences, and damage to market reputation. Supply security. Environmental regulations may limit the availability of crucial resources over time. Competitive positioning. Customers increasingly evaluate suppliers based on environmental performance, necessitating proactive measures to enhance efficiency and cost-effectiveness. Productivity. Optimal resource management is essential for maximizing value and minimizing input, crucial in a competitive global market. Developing an environmental purchasing policy goes beyond superficial green initiatives, instead focusing on strategic business goals to enhance value and minimize costs effectively. This is the end of this segment of our lesson. In the next segment, we shall discuss implementation issues and problems. This course is presented to you by South Europe College. Thank you for listening, and see you on our next segment.